Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Season 2 One Punch Man! Gonna be reviewing episode 2 of One Punch Man Season 2, and I hope it's as good as the first episode. Actually, I already know, because I already watched it. Now, as a disclaimer, if you happen to hear loud, stupid dogs barking in the background, they're my neighbor's dogs, and they are really annoying. That's about all I can say about that. So in this episode, I want to say that the animation was not as good as episode 1. Now, that's already to say that episode 1 is already not as good as season 1 with Madhouse. It was already downgraded, and then this episode was downgraded even more, and it's like, oh god. Like, is this the norm for One Punch Man? Is this what we're gonna have to get used to? Because if that's the case, then it's up to the story, basically, to keep this anime afloat, because it's kind of becoming more like just any regular anime. Well, I remember season 1 when it came out. I'm gonna ramble here for a second. I remember when season 1 came out, and everyone said this is the new level that anime should be at. Like, this is where anime needs to be all the time to be amazing. And One Punch Man Season 1 set the bar to that level, but this season so far is just not cutting it. So the episode starts out with that Heroes Association meeting still going on. They're still talking about what they need to do, except the heroes that are there are not too happy about the association wanting to use criminals to help take out monsters. But there's just simply not enough heroes to go around. There's too many monsters, not enough heroes, so what can you do, pretty much? Except one of the criminals jumps up and he's like, well, I'm pretty strong, and I don't need to be talked down by these heroes here, because I think the muscular hero and all of them were kind of bad-mouthing the criminals. He's like, I've killed loads of people like you before, like, you're nothing, and this criminal gets smashed into the ground in like one hit, just bam. And he's done. That's it for that hero. I mean, criminal, sorry. The hero is just like, yeah, no F's given, pretty much. However, we find out that the villain who's really there, like, because they're all criminals, but there's one guy in particular who's like a villain, and his name is Garo. This guy looks like bad news, and this guy, he may be arrogant and talking a lot of smack, but he actually has the power and skill to back it up. And he proves that because he tells everyone, like, I'm here just to kill all of you. He's like, I'm here just to find out if there's anyone stronger than me, and if there's not, you're just gonna die, basically. That's the only reason he's there. And he's like, I'm taking on you heroes too. And the heroes didn't like that, so here comes Magician Man. I don't know what the hell his name is, but he looks like some kind of magician. He gets taken out so freaking easily. Garo just grabs him by the neck, and he's just done. He already has blood coming out of his mouth. It's like, wow, that guy didn't do anything whatsoever. So next is the muscle guy, and we've just seen this muscle guy take down a criminal, and he's like, okay, let's see what he can do against Garo. He tries to hit Garo and smashes his arm into the ground, and Garo just dodges easily. He's like, oh, what are you hitting at? Look what happened to your arm. His arm was completely crushed by his own attack. I'm like, oh god, like, his whole arm's just completely broken. And then Garo comes in with a hit to the face and finishes this guy off. So that's it for Muscle Guy. Lastly, we have the one who uses fire. Now this guy looks pretty cool, so I was like, okay, I'll give him a chance. He uses his fire powers, and it's like, oh, really amazing looking blast. It's like, okay, let's see what Garo does. Garo freaking cuts off this guy's hand. And I hate the way that they censored it. Because, I mean, anime censor things in different ways. Unfortunately, they decided to censor it the way that Tokyo Ghoul, if you ever watched that anime, how they censored it, which is where they show the gore, or like what happened, but the colors are inverted. They're like inverted colors, so like everything is just really weird looking, you can't really tell. It's annoying that they do that. Like, I would rather them not show it at all, versus them censoring it like that. But anyways, Garo cut this guy's hand off, so he's finished. And then he proceeds to kill everyone in the room. He kills all the criminals. They're all dead. Except for the one who was giving the meeting, Sitch, I believe his name is. He's the only one who survives. He's just hiding. And I think he lets him Garo lets this guy survive so he can spread the message of like, look, I'm here to kill heroes. And Garo explains that he thinks of himself as a monster. He doesn't believe he's human. He said he's always been infatuated or looked up to monsters. And he thinks that heroes are the annoying ones who show up to the party late. Like, he says monsters are first to show up to the party, and then the heroes show up late every time. And that they're annoying, and that they don't need to be in anyone's business. It's always the hero's fault for ruining everything, basically. So he thinks he's a monster, and he is a monster, by the way. Like, this guy's power is unreal. So he takes everyone out, and it's like, okay, this guy's the real deal. I know Saitama can take him out because he can one-punch anybody, but I feel kind of scared for everybody else. Meanwhile, Lady Blizzard is on her way to meet Saitama. Now, Saitama and Genos are just hanging around in their apartment. Genos is washing the dishes as Saitama is playing a video game, which is funny because it's a video game that King has. He took one of King's video games and he accidentally deleted one of the save files or something. He's like, oh god, oh crap, oh well. I'm sure he'll forgive me. I'll probably just hide it. But Genos is washing dishes, which is funny that he does all the housework. But anyways, he senses an enemy coming, and he's like, whoa, someone's really fast is coming. I better check this out. So he leaves Saitama to play his video game. And the enemy that shows up is Sonic. Now, Sonic is there because he wants to fight Saitama again for the third freaking time. And Genos is like, no man, you're not going to fight this guy. You'll fight me instead. So we don't see what happens in that fight till later. They kind of disappear after that because then who shows up to Saitama's door is Blizzard. And she confronts Saitama and she wants him to join her faction. She's like, look, you're an up-and-coming hero. I'm number 1B. So join my faction and you can rise up in the ranks, blah, blah, blah. And Saitama's like, you know what? No. I think you're kind of doing like a gang thing going on. Like, I'll do it myself. I don't need you, basically. You're kind of just bullying me to join you with these thugs that are with you. And he's right. She's a rookie crusher, basically. She goes to rookies who are climbing up the ranks, and she goes to completely destroy them. Unless they join her, I think. We don't really know what happens if they join her because Saitama doesn't join her. He's like, nah, I'm not joining you. So she decides to attack Saitama with her bullies that are with her. Saitama knocks them out. Just with one hit, just bam. They fly off into the distance. So now it's him versus Lady Blizzard. Now she uses psychic powers just like her older sister. We find out her older sister is Tornado, who is an S rank number 2, I believe. Like a big deal. No, number 3. I think number 2 is the Wolf Fang or whatever. Wolf Fang? I don't know his name. Is the old guy who can do like karate moves and stuff. He's number 2. But anyways, she's the sister, the little sister of this girl, so you think she'd be really a big deal as well, but she starts using her powers with her rocks around, and Saitama, it doesn't affect him at all. So they fight a little bit, and it's pretty cool, but I mean, God, imagine what this would look like if Madhouse had done it instead of whatever studio this is, because it's so disappointing that they would do this to the fans. Like, why would they give up on this project? You know how big this anime season could have been if it was Madhouse doing it? Anyway, Saitama's not getting hurt by any of her attacks. It's not doing anything to him. But Genos and Sonic are fighting right there as well, and they do a huge explosion that nearly destroys the whole area. And Saitama protected Blizzard with his own body. Like, you can see where the damage is like around him, and protected her. Which is interesting because she's trying to literally kill this guy. And he rescues her, so good on Saitama. So Genos is still fighting Sonic. And Saitama's like, look guys, like, Genos, you need to stop doing flashy explosions because it's destroying my neighborhood, pretty much. But he continues to fight Sonic. And this fight in particular is actually really cool. The movements are really cool. There's certain segments that were like fluid, and the explosion sounds were amazing. But God, it just doesn't feel the same as season 1. I don't know how to explain it. It's the weirdest thing, because even as cool as this fight looks, and the movements and everything, at the same time it just feels like a generic anime that has a high budget that just kind of put in some flashy moments. Whereas Madhouse was like amazing the entire time. The animation was just fluid always. So it just, I hate that they did this, because imagine what this season could have become. So Genos actually does really well against Sonic. He's actually like just as fast as him, and he manages to get like land a hit, which not really a hit, but he grabs off some of Sonic's hair to prove how fast he is. So Sonic gets angry and ups it. He ups the game by going so fast. He's created like 5 after images, and Genos can't keep up. He can't see where the after images are. So the only solution for him was to blow up the entire area. So he goes to do that, and Saitama just knocks him out. I don't know how he does it, but he knocks Genos flat. He doesn't knock him completely out because he gets up, but Saitama doesn't want his whole neighborhood being blown up. He's tired of that crap. So Saitama's like, look, okay, I'm just gonna end this fight. He wants to fight me, I'll fight him, so I'm gonna go in this serious. It shows like his serious face, which it's always the joke where his face is like really plainly drawn, because that's just how Saitama's drawn. It's just really plainly. Although, doesn't it look like the animation is not that great? Even when the animation is not supposed to be great, it's even worse than it's supposed to be. If that makes any sense. Like, I don't think it's supposed to look that bad. It's supposed to look bad, but not as the level that they've done it. I mean, even before when Saitama was talking to Blizzard, his face just looked a little weird. It wasn't drawn right. It's like, I hate that Madhouse doesn't do it as anime. It's the most disappointing thing ever of this whole year so far. Anyway, Saitama goes in to fight, and he decides to use his serious move. Okay, so we have Sonic using the 5 images. Saitama goes to his serious series, where we've seen him use one serious series move before, which is Serious Punch, against the last enemy in the first season. We saw what that could do. This is a serious side jump. He jumps to side so fast, it has unlimited after images. Not just 5 like how Sonic can do, it's unlimited. It's just continuous after images. And then he kind of walks forward, doing these after images, and completely obliterates Sonic. Sonic gets thrown aside, completely battered, and it was just too much for Sonic. And it's kind of funny how they use a manga like looking panel to show how shocked Sonic was at Saitama's power. Like, there's nothing he can do. He can't catch up to Saitama. He's just gonna have to give up at this point. So we don't see what happens to him, but I'm sure we'll see him again challenging Saitama, but I mean, at this point he should know he's never going to win. So Blizzard is in the apartment with Saitama and Genos, and she begins to explain her backstory to them. And basically it goes that Tornado is her older sister, and she's always been amazing. Blizzard herself, she's never been number 1 at anything, so she's happy to be at number 1 in rank B. However, she doesn't want to move up, and they're like, well, why don't you move up to like rank 1A and then eventually rank 1S? And she's like, I can't, because in the S's, the people who are at the top are just insanely powerful. They're like god level basically. And then like, well, okay, well, about A? And she's like, well, rank 1A is a My Mask, and that guy is unstoppable. And we cut to a My Mask, who's confronting a monster that's like around his movie studio or whatever, because he's like a movie star or something. And this monster is some kind of like pre-human type of monster or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but a My Mask confronts it, and he takes this thing down in 1 hit. And not just 1 hit, but he literally blows its face up, and there's blood splattered on the ground. He destroys this thing. So we see that this guy is really a heavy contender. And Blizzard doesn't quite know how strong Saitama is yet, because she's like, oh, he's no match for a My Mask. A My Mask is like way more powerful than this bald guy here. But she's seen only a taste of Saitama's power. She has no idea what this guy can do. But it is nice to see that she sees his power and is slowly acknowledging him. And that's when King walks in. Because she's like, oh, they're never gonna go up the ranks the way they are now. And then King walks in. She's like, oh my god, this guy's friends with King? The strongest man on Earth? Like, who is this guy who's friends with all these S ranks? And it's not that he's friends with all the S ranks because, like, he's lucky or whatever. Like, he is really strong. And people will take a liking to him really easily because he is very genuine. And he's really easy to get along with and talk to. So she wants to join him as well. Lady Blizzard wants to be a part of Saitama's little group. So we'll see how that goes from the future. But people just naturally befriend Saitama. That's just the way it's always been in this anime. And they admire his strength. And they look at him as someone to look up to and someone that they want to aspire to be. They want to be as strong as him. So they follow him that way. At the end credits, or after the end credits, by the way, the end song is trash. The ending credit music does not fit this anime whatsoever. It sounds like it's for some romantic anime or something. It's the most weird thing to put in it. They need to be more rock and roll or some heavy metal or something, not some like crybaby music. But after that, we get a little cutscene of the association giving Genos his hero name and Saitama his hero name. So Genos is going to be called Demon Cyborg, and Saitama is Caped Baldy. Unfortunately, that's the one he said in the season 1. He's like, what if they call me Caped Baldy? And they did. That's his hero name, is Caped Baldy. Like, the poor guy. But after that, we cut to Garo, who is killing heroes one by one. It kind of reminds me of My Hero Academia, where the Stain was killing heroes. So this is the Stain of this anime so far, and he wants to find the strongest hero and fight them to see where he stacks up. So he's going one by one. Any hero he runs into, he fights and he kills, basically. So he's definitely a bad guy for sure, and I don't know who could be strong enough to beat him other than Saitama, because Saitama for sure can beat him, but anyone else, I have no idea. I'm gonna have to give this episode probably, I'll give it also an 8 out of 10, just like last week's episode. The animation was worse this week, although there was a couple of cool fights, and Genos' fight was definitely cool against Sonic, so I'll give it that. And we got to learn more about Lady Blizzard and her backstory, and the story is setting up Garo to be the main villain. So as far as this episode, it had a lot more meat and substance to it than episode 1, but the animation was down, but I think it still equals an 8 out of 10. For me, at least. So let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy this episode? Was it as cool as you guys think? Or can you guys deal with the animation being so different? I don't know how to explain how different it is. It just weirdly is. But let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Hit my notification bell for my future content. I'm gonna be continuing to do gaming videos and all that stuff on here. I've been slowing down on YouTube a little bit, but I'll be doing an update video on that pretty soon. But as far as that all goes, check all that content out, all my live streams and all that. And thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a great one.